G'day everyone, what is going on? It is your favorite producer from Down Under, Jhin, back with another video. And first of all, Happy New Year. Hopefully 2023 is a brilliant year for everyone. I know by the time this video releases, it's going to be the 6th, but you know the saying, better late than never. But yeah, in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a ambient lo-fi track inspired by good old Chilled Cow or Lo-Fi Girl inside of FL Studio. But yeah, if you are new here, would greatly appreciate it if you do punch that subscribe button for me. And while you're at it, flick that little bell to get notified every single time that I upload a video. Friendly reminder that I do stream live over on Kick. So if you do want to catch up with the shenanigans over there, would greatly appreciate it if you do follow me over there as well. But with that one being said, let's get into FL Studio and let's deconstruct this track. Okay, so here we are inside of FL Studio, and in all honesty, it might look like a lot is happening with this track, but in all honesty, not much is happening. Whenever I make a lo-fi track, I always start with a drum loop. Now this one, I actually grabbed a loop from ldre, and it is the Elements drum loop. Now it is at a BPM of 85, and I usually like making my lo-fi tracks around 80 to 90 BPM, so 85 being right in the middle was perfect. And this is what the drum loop sounds like. Now, as you can hear, the second half of that drum loop, the kick pattern tends to get a little bit too wonky for my liking. So all I did was I literally just cut the pattern in half and I just looped the first part throughout the whole track. Now, the next part that we did add is from the ldre lo-fi kit yet again, and it is this blender loop, which is originally at 90 BPM, so obviously I had to stretch it and fit it in time. And for those who don't know how to do that, you literally go to the sample, you right-click it, and you go fit to tempo. Then you type in BPM, and you type in the BPM of what the sample is, not the BPM of your track. Then it will fit into time. But in context, this is what this perc loop practically sounds like. Now, I practically decided to put that one in there because when I was hearing it, it kind of sounded a bit like a bit staticky, like, you know, it's something coming off a VHS. And, you know, I kind of like that retro audio sound. So hearing that, I decided to throw it in. Also, it adds just a little bit of rhythm as well. The next thing, which is the first melodic instrument that comes in, is this audio file right here. Now, I do have the MIDI for it. I did have to bounce it out though because my CPU was practically telling me to get and yeah, didn't like how many effects that I had on it. So the MIDI file with this one, honestly, really simple. We start in the key of D minor, but the finished track is actually in the key of C sharp. We pitch it down one semitone. And the chords are honestly really simple. We start with this D minor triad where we have the D, the F, and the A. Then we just duplicate the D and bump it up an octave. The next chord is actually this C major where we have the C, E, and the G. And we just, yet again, duplicate the C, bump it up an octave. The next one is an A minor where we have this A, C, and this E. And then we just duplicate the A up an octave. It's the next half where it gets a little bit interesting with the chords. What I mean by that is we start with this G minor where we have this G, this A sharp, and this D. But if you go to this second note, and then go to the D and the F, we suddenly have an A sharp major. We have two chords playing within the one chord. Now, all I did was I duplicated the A sharp and the D, bumped it up an octave. The next chord, the exact same thing. We have this A minor, we have this A, this C, and this E. Then if we go to the second chord, we suddenly have a C major where we have C, E, G. But then we duplicated the C and E, bumped it up an octave. The next one, we actually have an A sharp major where we have A sharp, D, and F. But if we go to the second note yet again and work our way up, we suddenly have a D minor where we have this D, this F, and this A. The D and F we duplicated, bumped up an octave. The top pattern, I just wanted to keep it really simple because with lo-fi, it's not really supposed to take the listener's attention. It's just supposed to be in the background. So I wanted to add in like a really simple top melody just to kind of give it a little bit of groove, a little bit of movement, but not something that, you know, would get the listener to go, oh, what's happening? And what we ended up with is something that sounds like so. Really simple, but yet again, we have pitched it down a semitone for the final product. But the effects with this one, what we have is we have an Arvox stereo because the preset that we are using, which comes in from Expand 2, is this Celeste bell. And honestly, the bell by itself was pretty quiet, so I did just want to make it just a little bit louder. So we bring on an Arvox and we have the compression at -7.4. We have this portal that comes in, which we are using the preset particle glitch, and the master wet dry is on 20% with that one. A Valhalla vintage verb comes in where the mix is on 35%, pre-delay is on 0, and the decay is 1.7. We have a low cut of 120 because we do not want to reverb the low end. We have a fruity delay that comes in where we have the time on 4, tempo synced, and it's on ping pong, and the master wet dry is on 40% with that one. Now, all we did is we bounced it out to a waveform, and then we reversed it, chopped it up, and pitched it up an octave to get this cut. And this is what the cut sounds like. Really simple, but that is just some stuff that I do with my lo-fi tracks. I get a sample, I flip it, change the pitch it up, pitch it down. I just manipulate the samples just so I can use it as ear candy and just extra elements, extra textures to make the track sound more full and actually make it sound like, we are able to progress. It's also an easy way to change up, so you're not just looping the exact same thing over and over. You throw in a part where it's been pitched up an octave, suddenly it actually feels like we're progressing through the song and it's not just the exact same thing looping. The next part that we did add in though comes in from Analog Lab, and the preset that we are using with this one is the American Home Clean. Now all I did with this piano is something really simple. We grabbed some of the chords from the bells, and then I just went completely nuts with this, this top end, and I just threw in random notes. I just, found notes that were also in scale of D, and just went, that note sounds good, that note sounds good. I literally just went by ear, and we ended up with something that sounds like so. Really, really simple with that one. The effects, all we have is an EQ where we're getting rid of a lot of the low end and some of the highs. Then we have a soothe that comes in with the piano enhancer preset. Depth is on 8.2. I can highly recommend soothe too, especially if you make lo-fi. It is honestly a really good resonant and frequency specific EQ. Like, I honestly enjoy using soothe. It is a great plugin. The next element that comes in is from Arcade, and the first part of it comes in from the good old recollection downtime expansion, and all we are doing with this one is playing a really simple pattern, and it sounds like so. When it comes to making my lo-fi tracks, I like having like a lot of ambience, a lot of texture. That is, what I tend to do. I don't, really rely on the melodic part. I just, rely on the drums and what textures can I throw in, what ambience can I throw in to make it sound more luscious and, more natural as well. Going on to the next part of Arcade, this one comes in from the good old Stratus Bank, yet again, downtime expansion, and we are just playing one note. We're just playing G twice, and in context, it sounds like so. Yet again, something really simple, but I honestly liked how it sounded. With the effects with both arcades, we have nothing on it, but all melodic elements get routed to insert 10, which is the melody bus. We have a Valhalla vintage verb come in where the mix is on 40%, decay is 2, pre-delay is 0, and a low cut of 120. Yet again, we do not want to reverb the low end. Sound shifter comes in where we're pitching it down a semitone, officially putting it onto the key of C sharp. Now we have an Arvox stereo come in where we have the compression on -3, and then just another soothe where we're using the factory default preset. Depth is on 3.1 just to get rid of some of those really harsh frequencies. Now it's time for the bass. Now with this bass, it is a preset that I have made myself in Serum, and if you guys want to cop it, I'll be leaving a free download link to it in the description where you guys can get it completely for free. Now this preset is called the Plucked Bass. Now, I could have used the Scarby Rickenbacker, but I use that a lot when it comes to lo-fi and boom bap. So with this track, I wanted something that I made myself that also sounded authentic. And I think I've honestly nailed it with this plucked bass. Now, the pattern with this one is really simple, and it sounds like so. You know, it's a really nice acoustic sounding bass, but obviously made in Serum. Yet again, if you do want to cop it, link to that one will be down in the description. You can get it completely for free. Now, in regards to effects, all we have on this one is a Decapitator 2, where yet again, it's another preset of mine called 69. Nice. And that's just to, you know, beef up the bass a little bit, make it sound a bit more full. The other thing that comes in is this crash, where we do reverse it, where it's practically being used as a swell, and then we have the actual crash. But yeah, that is how you can honestly make a lo-fi track inspired by Chilled Cow or Lo-Fi Girl inside of FL Studio. If you are new here, would greatly appreciate it if you do punch that subscribe button, and while you're at it, click that little bell so you get notified every single time that I upload a video. Friendly reminder that I do stream live over on Kick, so if you do want to catch up with the shenanigans live, would greatly appreciate it if you do follow me over there as well. But with that one being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next week for another video.